Let's get straight into it. Hello survivors, welcome to a brand new Soulstone Survivors video. Today we are going to be playing on the Shaman. We've done a similar build to this. We are going to be using totems today, but we are going to be abusing a little bit of a function that I don't think was intended but works, and it might even be buffed in the future, because when I was speaking to the developer about it, he felt that it was kind of weak. You can watch this, let me know whether it's weak or not. I don't think it's weak, I think it's actually quite strong, but it's going to be abusing Devastating Blow with the direct damage caused by a skill is multiplied by 3. And how this works is Radiance is defined as a skill, but it isn't an actual skill that you can pick up. So it does direct damage, it deals 1000 damage and applies fragility as a base damage amount. That 1000 damage can be increased via your character's stat sheet. So if you gain powerful strikes, you can increase the damage of Radiance, or if you're using things like prowess. So we'll go into it as we're playing the game, but what we're going to do is Material Harvest, Endless Refill, and Weapon Expert, Divine Legacy, Efficiency of Focus, Advanced Tactics, and Devastating Blow. You get these from the Machinist. This is from a reward for the achievements, and then Devastating Blow is from the Cursed Captain. So yeah, you just need those. We're going to go do a Sigil of the Void hunt, and we're going to absolutely wreck. So the most important ability of the actual build is going to be Ancestral Empowerment, and what it's going to do is it's going to allow us to proc Radiance on everything. So as you can see, that beam that is shooting is the Radiance beam. I apologize, I was testing, well, I don't really need to apologize about it, but I was testing to make sure that it did actually proc with Devastating Blow. So the way that we did that is we just took a random character with a random skill that didn't really do a lot of damage far away from us, and essentially we just tested that the Radiance proc was triple the amount of damage than if I did or didn't have Devastating Blow, and it did actually do triple the amount of damage. So I've got a character where their weapon gives me 100% critical strike chance from the beginning of a round, so it was quite easy for me to test that it worked. But before we even tested it, I did get the green light from the developer to say that this does actually work correctly, and that Devastating Blow does affect Radiance, Icy Veins, and Electrified. So I thought, hey, let's go and abuse that. So we're going to grab all the powerful strikes, because this is going to increase the damage of Radiance. Anything that increases your stat here, so it can crit, it will get increased damage because of crit damage. I don't believe it can multicast though, so I'm going to say it can't. But what happens is that the skills that are affected can multicast. Alright, so we're going to be looking for the other totems, not Shockwave Totem, but you know what the heck, it's there, so we might as well just grab it. We're looking for Stone Spiral, there we go, fantastic, and then we're looking for the Poison, there we go, Cobra Totem. So we got everything we wanted from the skills. Grab a bit of Magnetics. We do want the critical strike chance, because that's going to help us, and then again, like I mentioned, just increasing this damage over there. What's really important is that we get ourselves the Poison to Dazed, which we'll get, that's fine. What's actually really important is there is a stat in the game from the Viv and VALKHES, or maybe from here. I gotta double check, I haven't checked the actual list to make sure, but there is I think it's Shattered to Prowess, and that's going to be very strong for us. The only problem is I don't think Shattered to Prowess in this build doesn't really make that much of a difference to us, because we don't proc our skills too often. But that can be if you add it in like a swing skill, or there's probably a way to optimize it in a much better way that's going to make it do so much more damage if optimized. I just really like the totems, and I like the fact that totems themselves can proc the Radiance as well. So having minions, doing this on a minion build is really fun. So if you wanted, you could do this on the Necromancer as well. You don't necessarily need to use Devastation or the Devastating Rune. You can do it with 6 other skills, and it's just as strong there. So what I am going to be focusing on is, well, movement speed, also the venomous. So we want to get as much of that as possible. Area of effect of all of our totems actually. And then again, the powerful strikes, because that's going to help us. Don't want Leviathan, so we're getting rid of it. Let's go with cast frequency. And then over here, we don't need a damage upgrade for this one, so it doesn't really matter. What we do need is +2 totems. So that's why we took the locks, because we will be locking every time we get those upgrades from the Divine Legacy. So that's why we went Endless Refill instead of Reroll Mastery. We want to grab as many +2s as possible, because the more totems we have, the more Radiance procs we're going to have as well, because every single totem will be proccing Radiance as long as it's inside this purple circle. So that's why the purple circle needs to also get as big as possible. Now the funny thing is, as soon as we hit about Val 8 or Val 9 with this, if you can even get there, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing it accent-wise, these things over here, once you've defeated 8 or 9 Titans, what's going to happen is you actually land up getting your totems doing more damage than Radiance. But until then, Radiance is going to be doing the most amount of damage for your character. So yeah, that's going to be really, really fun to see and to play around with. Just grabbing these magnetics, they're going to be very, very helpful for us. I mean, level 36 is pretty low. So here we're doing ARUANAK because we want Poison to Dazed as soon as possible. And we will grab Poison to Doom, Doom to Fire, Fire to Ice, and then Ice to Disarray, because we want to grab ourselves the Disarray to Disoriented if at all possible. So that's going to help us a lot as well. Alright, pretty easy. We can grab Merciless and then again Poison to Dazed. So we push number 1 on the keyboard. If you are wondering, hey Broken, you're not actually clicking on it, it's because you can use keyboard shortcuts on PC. I don't know what it's like on console, but yeah, we get a little you know, shortcut key over there, so I use my keyboard a lot to do that stuff. This is going to give us all hits can cause, actually no wait, we're going to go Vulcan for Vault first. So we're going to go Volkage for the devastation plus 300%, and then we'll get shattered afterwards, and hopefully, you know, with my luck we'll end up getting one of those man, why did my brain go, the loot goblins. And if we get a loot goblin now, then we can do Viv and Volkage twice, and that's going to give us quite a lot of devastation, because I think we actually need other stuff from them as well. I do need to be a bit more wary of what's happening around me, because taking damage like that for free is not what we want. We're just taking the critical strike chances there, in case you're wondering. You can just see what goes up in the passives in the corner, but I'll keep an eye out to just make sure I click on it rather. Powerful strikes, critical strike chance, we are 98%. We want crit so that we can proc the devastating blow correctly, and we also want it just so that we can apply negative effects correctly as well, like your poison to crit and so on and so forth. I mean, poison on hit when you crit and so on and so forth. Okay, we're just moving around, it doesn't really matter. I know for a fact that we're going to absolutely destroy the bosses. And here we get 2+2s and we get the damage, so this is why we take the locks, so that we can lock those beautiful upgrades like so. I want to take a little bit of armor, and HP is good. +2 to there is going to be fantastic, because that's going to allow us to get even more ancestral totems, which means even more radiant stacking. So yeah, now's where the fun starts. So I discovered yesterday while I was playing this build or trying it out that the Titans eventually get negative resistances negative effect resistances. Now what that means is that, let's say I'm applying fragility or weakness or all of those juicy debuffs, Titans actually get a resistance to those debuffs, where the Lords of the Void don't usually do that in Overlord or whatever the case may be. So this build will actually be stronger in Overlord cycles, except you don't get like the poison to Dazed and things like that, so maybe it wouldn't actually be stronger. But in terms of resistances that the bosses are going to have and things like that, it is stronger, because Titans after like Val 6 or 7, they just become brick walls. The Lords of the Void will have like 40 trillion damage, health, and you can melt them in a second, and you go and you fight the Titan and you don't do any damage to it, and you're like, what is going on? Yeah, it's because of the negative effect. Let's go for some poison damage here. That's fine. There we go. Damage increase for all of them. Multicast. Let's grab Merciless. We can actually reroll here. I'm being silly. I must always do at least one reroll so that we can make sure we get or try to get a legendary. We need a 2. It's too far away. We'll just do the one here and the one at the top there. Alright, look at that beautifulness. Oh, right, there is actually a passive. I believe it's from the Kobolds brothers, so we'll check. We might do Vivolta and VALKHES again, because there is a passive that lets you go Radiance to Finesse. And what that does is it increases multicast chance. So things go out of hand. That's quite fun. I'm just going to lower visuals a little bit for this fight, just because it's a double boss fight and it can be difficult to see what they do sometimes. By lowering visuals, I can actually see the red dots that they apply. Something else to note is to lower the visuals, you push I, and O is to increase the visuals on keyboard. Again, not something I know on console, unfortunately. And we didn't have any goblin, so we can't do anything there. Okay, we grab that. We don't need the multicast, so we actually re-roll. And as you can see, we get the +2s again. Beautiful. Okay, critical strikes now apply poison. A little bit more movement speed. And we're looking for, there we go, Radiance. Whenever Radiance is triggered, which is a lot, you have a chance to gain Finesse. And this Finesse is actually, it's 100% chance, which is amazing. And it's 10% Finesse, or multicast chance. And the thing is, because the totems also gain that Radiance, they are also going to be gaining the extra Finesse that you can get.
These lands need corruption all over.
So there you go, you can see the Finesse stacking on the totems as well. Pretty funny. Love it. Okay, I just want the totems to spawn on us. There we go. And now we're just going to get shattered on hit. And then we'll get the devastation, deals more damage. Alright, damage increase over there. We're going to get a little bit of armor, because armor is actually pretty decent over here. We can grab more poison. Poison deals damage more now. Armor again, damage increase. I'm not worried about the ritual stuff. We can go poison to doom now as well. I don't believe I picked one. Oh no, I did pick one up. I'm just not getting any doom chance ones. We'll just take 1 or 2 of the doom ones, just so that we can start getting doom to burn and then burn to slow. So that's the point. That's the process, the thinking. We can grab our ascension while we're running past it. It doesn't hurt to have even more creatures applying radiance. Damage there. That. Reduce our damage taken. Increase block. HP. We'll just go the area of effect. +1. Beautiful. And we can't see anything on our screen anymore. And that's okay. Who needs visuals when you can absolutely dominate everything?
The void fragment hung with purpose.
Okay, let's go beat myself up so we can get ourselves shattered on hit. And then we'll go back to the Cobalt Brothers before we fight the Void, the Corrupted Void Hunter. Ooh, look at that, another +2 over there. So now is where the locks come in handy because we want damage. Okay, it's not happening, so one more. Oh, it happened. So we grab the damage. It just increases the damage of these two. This doesn't need a damage increase. So that's where it comes in handy. We nearly ran out of locks. That would have been a problem. I should have taken the damage over there. I didn't actually see it till now. Yeah, we can go to 150% critical strike chance. That's going to give us a chance to crit a lot. And then we've got more movement, more speed. So the way that critical strike chance works and multicast chance is a little bit more complicated, but critical strike chance, essentially what it does is if you go over 100% crit, you have a chance to multi-crit. Now what that means is every single attack that occurs is going to have a chance to hit more than once. So it will crit more than once. So let's say you hit an enemy for 400 normal hit, or you have 200% critical or 150% critical strike chance. When you hit them, you're going to do, depending on the amount of critical damage you have, but let's say it's 100% that you have, you're going to do 800 damage with a 50% chance to do 800 damage again a second time immediately. So instead of hitting just for 400, you now have 1.5 times, or one time to deal 800 damage, and then a 50% chance to do that 800 damage a second time. So you actually multi-crit the enemies, which is really, really cool. So, if you get form, which is a very, very available, MHYZAHET has it, all attacks apply form, you can get up to quite a lot. I think it's like, you get quite a lot, I don't know the exact number, but with 1,000 form, you actually get quite a decent amount of critical strike chance. And then you can also just increase that damage further with a critical damage. And then you're critting a lot, and then you add multicast onto that as well, and it's just really, really strong. And what's really nice is crit and crit damage don't have caps on them, where a lot of the negative effects do. Multicast chance has a hard cap on it, or a soft cap and a hard cap, exponentially increasing in terms of how much multicast versus what you get for it. So going over about 400 to 600% isn't worth it. It becomes like a waste of passive points, if that makes sense. And then we go and we don't want to use passive points or multicast. You can actually end up like getting rid of it if that's the case. Alright, this one's going relatively well. As you can see, we can't really see a lot happening, but what happens essentially is everything gets destroyed. And we will see at the end, after we beat the Void King, just how much... no, we don't want to do that one. It's quite irritating. It just takes up time. It's not necessary. That's literally just the Void Presence chasing you for like 20 seconds. Come on, game. Spawner 2 for me. I didn't want to. Alright, so we're going to go do the one at the bottom over here. We just found a bug. Hello? Oh, we didn't even take... No, okay, it wasn't a bug. We never even took Shattered yet. I'm so clever. Alright, so we had so many level ups that we never even took the Shattered yet. Like, that's just how strong the build was. Oh, no, okay. Never mind, it wasn't a bug. I was just being silly. Okay, good to know. Get +2 there. Relentless is good. Damage. Cooldown reduction. Lock that and reroll. We get a +1 there, so we can lock and reroll one more time. And we do get the pluses, so that's going to be great. Ooh. I've never actually seen what happens if you get more of them, so that's going to be a very interesting one to take. And we'll take the increased area of effect as well. I can't believe that happened. What's worse is I thought that was a bug. Meantime, it was just me not actually picking my passives. Alright, we won't do that this time. So here we want Devastation, multicast, grab the death, that, poison, and poison. I mean, look how many stacks of Radiance we have on our character. I think Paladin has a skill that goes off of the amount of Radiant stacks you have. Someone has a skill. I just got to remember who it is. But yeah, this is why we turned down the visuals for this boss fight, because as you can see, you can't see the actual fight. And yeah, it becomes quite difficult to turn around. But here we go, we increased the damage bonus of the devastating trait by 300%. So instead of 3 times, it's now 9 times damage. And that's a massive increase to the damage amount. But let's go see what that translates to when we go and fight something like the Corrupted Void Hunter. And then we'll also turn that into a Void King fight. And it has been said by the developers that there is going to be a skip button eventually added into the game for these things. So that's actually really, really cool. They just want to iron out all the bugs for the full release before they introduce things like that and get everything out of the way. Make the game in the best playable state possible before they do an update to add some quality of life changes. So understandable. I'm quite excited to have that occur. Oh yeah, also I forgot that we first got to do the Netherworld. Can you hear? Like, that's all just Radiance procs going off, by the way. We have 1,200 stacks of Radiance. Like, this is just as broken as the Quicksand Totem. The only difference is this doesn't lag your game out. Like, Quicksand Totem destroys your game. I don't know why. Maybe there's a quality of life change coming that's going to fix that. Like, there's too many particles for the skill or something. But there's something wrong with that skill, where if you have too many copies of it going off at the same time, it slows down your FPS. Like, I know it's supposed to slow the enemies because it's quicksand, but your character itself, you also feel like you're sitting in quicksand as well, which is quite crazy. Lots of damage, right? Now we're just looking for a 5. Oh, there's actually a 4 over there. Okay. Let's go grab that. The purple ones are quite difficult to see, especially since the map has purple hues all over the place. So whenever there's a +4 like this one over here, they can be quite difficult to notice. But luckily we managed to notice it. So there we go. And now we just need a +1. There isn't one near, unfortunately. Near the top is what I meant. Because it's nice to just run, do the 1 and then run to the boss fight. Alright, at least it wasn't a boss fight one to wait for. We do have material harvest though, so it would have been nice if it was. Also, 3 million prestige is practically from level 0 to level 170 nearly. Nearly. You need 5.5 million, I believe it is. We'll say 6 million just to be safe. But I also have 26 levels and forgot to use them, so we'll quickly use them after the chat here.
To close yours.
Forever. How about you just come here so we can defeat your face? Okay, we're just going for defenses. I don't think we need anything else. Life is going to be good. Block is good. Let's grab ourselves some towers. I don't need more of these ancestrals, so we'll keep those away. I'm looking for +2 the... Oh, there we go. Perfect. Poison, damage increase, poison, crit. Just damage and poison, essentially. Oh, Merciless are actually very strong as well. I don't know. Such a force of habit. Whenever I see a magnetic, I grab it. But we really shouldn't do that.
This is sacred.
Okay, so essentially what we want is for the Void or the Corrupted Hunter to come to us. But anyway, that one didn't last very long, did it now? So we can go multicast chance losing 75 HP. We could grab armor and armor regeneration, health regeneration. This is very powerful, guys. Don't sleep on that. But what I'm going to do is, I think going for crits could be very, very good here. 100, 270 crit. I mean, we just crit more. Just makes sense. I'm going to go for the 100% crit chance. Why not? You can't go through this. Yeah, so the king over here isn't going to last very long. So now all we've got to do is just stand by him, because what that's going to do is ensure that the totems that spawn are spawned around him, and we can just hope and pray that the Radiance is going to hit him and not something else near him. And that's going to be the same for any of the Titans or any of the bosses or anything. You want totems to spawn. Totems spawn near your character, and what you want is to then go and just stand by the enemy so that you do the most amount of damage, because as you can see, the totems are going to hit whatever's right around you. Also, just look at those boss parts that you get. You get a boss part per you know, Void King phase, which is pretty cool. Or they gave you parts there to make you think that you had beaten him for those couple of seconds. We'll see if we get more at the end of this fight, but it's very possible that it was done that way. He decided to attack the wrong place as well right now, so we're pretty Gucci. Didn't even need to move. And yet we did get more resources, so that's even better. So if you're playing this build, you have two options now. One, because you're running Material Harvest, you can actually go and keep running it. Yeah, you don't really have to. You can just start again. However, I'm going to do one more round. We're going to go do another MHYZAHET one. Just go defeat MHYZAHET, because it's the only one where we haven't. It also gives us an opportunity to see how much damage the critical strike chance and things like that happen. I mean, look at this. Wound is negative effect, so that helps with the poison. I'm going to take the presence of the Dark Lord. I mean, look at those are beautiful stats over there, and that's going to increase the damage of Radiance as well. So let's go see. We'll do one more round. I mean, we've got 3 minutes. Let's see if we can beat Val 6 MHYZAHET in 6 minutes. I like to do things in times of 20 minutes. In case you're wondering, there's no other reason behind it, guys. Don't look too much into it. There really is no reason why I do it that way. I just do. Turn up the visuals a little bit more. The thing is, a build like this, you don't need the visuals, which is nice because everything's getting destroyed anyway, as long as you can see that you put down a totem. And bam. It's just so nice when you do so much damage. There are no greens. There's a green one down there. We don't want just green though. Let's take a look at the bosses. Also pay attention to how much life they have. So we're going to pause as they spawn. 85 billion HP. Cool story. Oh, look, now we get a goblin. Nice. You're so useful. So they just had 85 billion health. They probably had about 120 billion right now. I didn't actually mean to pause at that exact time, but that's pretty funny that we did. 90 billion actually. Okay, it didn't actually go up that much more than I thought it would. But that's okay. And then there's a 3 over there. And that means we actually did do what we set out to do, which was defeat MHYZAHET before 20 minutes. Or defeat the 6th Val boss before 20 minutes is more of what we're trying to say.
Toward balance between light and dark.
Alright, let's go for +2 more totems. Of course. Ah, oops, I re-rolled it. Okay, it came back to me. There we go. And we got the damage increase as well. So, look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh. This is not going to be fair on MHYZAHET. I do have to say that. So, we're going to just check how much power we have. We've got a 260 damage modifier percentage-wise. So, the base damage is going to be much higher than that of any of our other skills. These skills have... Oh, that's got 3,448. So, it's about the same base power as Stone Spiral. But for some reason, it also distills massive amounts of damage. Also, it gives us fragility, which is pretty cool. Alright, and here's a Tartan with 400 billion HP. Just in case you didn't know that.
The blood burns in my hands.
And done.
Clears it.
Alright, so something like this, we would then go for every time you cast any skill, you have a chance to... Maybe that works. No. Anyway, we would have just gone for exposed. And then that would be that. So let me know what you guys think about this build. Do you think it's exploiting a mechanic or not? As you can see, the Stone Spiral, because there were so many of them, 25 of them, it was catching up in damage to the Radiance. So like I mentioned, if we kept going Val 7, 8, they would actually out damage the Radiance, but that doesn't matter. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. And always remember, keep safe, survivors. Until next time, cheers.